Dahan-dahan lang. Simulan nyo na magandang pasa. Diba? Oh. Look, silip sa blockers. Nakita mo yung mga bitaw natin, nandun lagi yung blockers. Dalawa yung sumasabay, so tingin lagi, okay? Oh, salita pa dyan, ha? Huwag masyado manggigil yung flag. Okay?
Okay lang, block ko lang.
Hey, Vanguard!
Very early timeout for the volley hitters. Let's see how they can try to bounce back from this 3-point deficit. Philippine Army starting out well with a 6-3 advantage. So the defense has been there. Offense looks good. Oh, maganda yung umpisa nitong Philippine Army troopers as Rojas continues to serve.
Another error for the Philippine Army.
That will be their second service error for the set. Good serve. Hindi na naabutan ni Rojas, diving for it. As the Vanguard, after the timeout, they score back-to-back points.
Responding well to that timeout of Coach Ejit Mabayad. Better timing on the block also from the middle blocker of Vanguard.
Another good serve, and that is an ace for Abrot.
Looks like they both have the same game plan. It's to force the other team to make a mistake on that first pass.
Loaded lagi, no, yung mga serve nila. As Abrot will try again, 3 straight points now for them.
Lot of jump servers here in the Spikers turf as well.
Sobra lang.
And yun nga, go big or go home every time you go to that jump serve.
When it works well, could lead to an ace, but as easily as you can get the ace, pwede mo rin namang ipamigay with a service error. Now Army retake the lead 7-6. That was a good first ball. And that will be off the blocks. Back to a deadlock at 7 apiece.
Sorio just fearless on that attempt. Vertical jump, no problem. Wasn't able to get a full approach, hitting it off the hands of the double block of Philippine Army.
And now Fernandez will be serving before we head to our first technical timeout. Oh, that runner, nadepensahan pa, nakabawi pa itong Vanguard. Dump from Ramirez will not work out. Oh, it does. As it will be the Philippine Army Troopers taking a 1-point lead, 8-7. Heading into our first technical timeout. A strong start for the Army. Vanguard right there with them.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023 live here on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and Smart Livestream. Now with these two teams eyeing to not increase their losses and their errors, besides solely working on their weak links. Now head coach Melvin Carolino of the Army Troopers mentioned to me that he wanted to do a different approach naman in this game today. Ang gagawin nila ay may fine of 50 pesos per service error per player. And nakwento sa akin ni Coach Melvin na super up for the challenge daw sila as service has always been a problem. So hopefully this will help them motivate the Army Troopers more in today's game. Back to you, Carla Neal.
So magkano na yun?
That's a good
Magkano na yung
motivation
ipon nila?
on their end, the reward and penalties.
You know, that's the fun part of coaching, you know, finding those little adjustments na pampakilig or pang-inspire sa mga players mo, how you maximize, you know, every bit of coaching that you can get from them.
And the fact that they were just up for the challenge of paying 50 pesos per service error just means they're very willing to minimize that aspect of their game.
Si Ramirez, ha, nakaka-2 puntos na dito, very early in our matchup. And that poor first ball, the over-reception leads to an easy point for the setter.
He also chose that right angle, hindi lang straight down. He identified that hole in the defense of Vanguard Volleyball. And now, again, they're having a difficult time getting that ball papunta kay setter na kay Ron Villegas. And again, even if you have a skilled setter, pag hindi umaabot dyan sa front line yung pasa, he will really have a limited options to go to. Most of the time, he will just go to your outside hitter as emergency. And pag nagyari yun, established na agad yung blocking pattern ng Philippine Army.
And for that particular opportunity, pinilit na lang ni Sorio, you know, kahit na hindi nga ganun kaganda yung angulo niya. But at least they get a point back here. Razel Palisok will now be serving for his squad, down by 3 points, 11-8. So si Rojas, no, yung tina-target. They are really testing the reception ng veterano ng Philippine Army Troopers. Labide gets to it. Alanganin na yung talon but still gets it across. Rojas picks it up. Ooh! Nagagawan sa bola yung magkakampi. And that's outside. I don't think it hit the blockers.
That is an unforced error on the side of Vince Abrot, hitting that tape of the net. Didn't hit the hands first, so that would be a point for Philippine Army.
12-8. As Labide now serves for the Troopers. Much better effort coming from Sorio on the first ball. Quick na bantayan. Ramirez, kanino pupunta? Oh, goes behind to Labide.
Such a deadly option of attack. You have an quick attack from Liberato. Then Labide comes flying in from that back row.
So you're seeing that Ramirez is having more variety in terms of saan niya pwedeng ipadala yung bola to keep the Vanguard guessing.
And again, reception problematic on the side of Vanguard Volleyball. That is one of the strategies that they can go to. You try to break the confidence of your best player in Vince Abrot to get your momentum going.
And as a result, another timeout requested by Vanguard. Let's listen in again.
Pasa natin, over, tapos tumatuloy yung bola, hindi na tayo nakikialam, wala na tayong pakialam, di ba? Tignan natin yung mga mangat na bola, huwag natin pabayaan bumagsak, okay? Magsalita, ituloy nyo, i-enjoy nyo dyan sa loob. Simulan natin dito, ha?
Gawin nyo sa pasa, ang serve kasi nila, puro long. Tapos nandito tayo sa gitna masyado. Ngayon, pag mag-serve yan sila ng long, hindi tayo makakatras ng maayos.
Huwag nyo lang madaliin, okay?
Ayan sila mag-short, tapos pa-forward tayo. Huwag kayong nandito, ikaw mag-organize pala.
Tao sa block.
Kaya tayo na.
Yung nandito yung maker, ikaw nandito. Tumapat ka. Sige, tumapat. Tapos kaluwete yung binabantayan.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Go.
Hey, my God!
Earlier, when they called the timeout, maganda yung naging response itong Volley hitters. Now, they will need the exact same thing because they do not want this lead to balloon any further.
Right now, they just have to put reception at the top of their priority. Focus there and everything will follow.
Oh, that was a safe serve. Halos hindi pa rin napulot. But another error this time on the side of Army. That was a free ball, Neil.
Yeah, that was definitely a free point for Vanguard Volleyball. They were just forced to put it over. Pero hindi nagkaintindihan si Enciso.
Sinoli naman sa kanila with that service error from Sorio. I mean, when you are the team that is trying to get back into the match, pag ikaw yung nalamangan, parang mas mahapdi yung yung service errors eh.
And 6 points is a huge lead
Sure.
already. Again, bitin yung pasa ng Vanguard Volleyball. But Vince Abroad will save them in that last rally.
Did not have a lot of options. Was able to find the correct angle, just cut it in. I think that was literally the only spot na pwede niyang hanapin, Neil.
And that was the very difficult hit to make for Vince Abroad. So you can see the skill level there.
Good pickup coming from Diwa. Abrot. Balik sa kanya. This time it's wide.
Too much angle this time. May intimidation factor also from the blocking pattern of Philippine Army.
Bilis natin umabot sa ating second TV timeout as Army still up by 6. (16-10) in favor of the Philippine Army Troopers as we welcome you back to the 2023 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Ako po si Carlo Pamintuan. Good Neil Flores on the call. Miss Diana Perlas working the sidelines here in this ball game. Another tough first ball. Pero si Ramirez, alam niyang mali niya eh. He knew he should have been more ready to pick that one up.
Napabagal na nung block. That was a good rebound from Philippine Army, but Ramirez wasn't ready for the pickup. He just used one of his hands. And definitely, very erratic yung control pag isang kamay lang gagamitin mo.
Villegas still serving for his squad. Good first ball here. They go to Rojas, and he has been efficient in this matchup.
Power hit after power hit from the spikers of Philippine Army. They're just in control of the tempo right now, and that's what I've been saying, na iba yung magiging takbo ng sistema nila with Nico Ramirez back in the fold.
Still going all in sa kanyang mga serves, si Rojas. Blockers have also been present. Oh, that's just unstoppable.
Vince Abroad hitting it at the highest point, getting past two defenders of the Philippine Army. Identifying that seam as well. There was a slight gap in between, so that was enough for him to get it through.
Hinayang si Torres tsaka si Labide because they guessed it correctly. Meanwhile, a service ace here as Abroad continues to power the offense for Vanguard.
Starting to catch fire late in this first set. They're still down by 4, so they need a few more points from Vince Abroad on the line to catch up with Philippine Army.
Much better pickup this time. Labide sent up by the libero. Oh, may butas!
Campfire. It was a high ball again from Vanguard Volleyball. That's the second free ball that Philippine Army let go of.
Everyone just looking at it. No one close enough to even dive. Another ace for Abroad. And just like that, Vanguard is just down by 2. Again, high risk, high reward. But in this particular trip, mas marami yung rewards for Abroad. Timeout. Pakinggan natin ang Philippine Army.
Sayang ang lamang natin. Layo tayo. Tayo. Arbe. Troopers. Pinapabigit na naman natin. Nakatatlo na siya. Nakatatlo na sa service.
rinig natin yung sigaw coming from the Philippine Army Troopers. Nakatatlo na itong si Abroad. Let us get a side out.
And it all started with dun sa mga free ball na naibigay ng Vanguard na sana na-convert on the transition nitong Philippine Army. And itong mga coaches natin, dun sila pinaka-disappointed, yung very simple mistakes talaga.
Abroad, the main man for the volley hitters.
Good timeout for Philippine Army, icing Vince Abroad on the service line.
6 points in total for him, 3 attacks, 3 service aces. I remind you that we're live on One Sports Plus. Kung kailangan nyo pong umalis ng bahay, you can catch us on the Smart Live stream and on the Signal Play app as well. Good dig. Oh, miscommunication again. But this time they rescue that point. Uy, sends it up. Labide tips it across. Tuloy ang rally. This is the longest of the matchup. Villegas goes to the other side. That is off the block of Labide.
Right now, Villegas is just using that isolation type of play, giving the sets from the left to the right para humabol yung blockers ng Philippine Army.
And some nervous moments for the Philippine Army Troopers. Uncharacteristic errors, no, Neil?
Yeah. I mean, for a veteran team, ito yung mga hindi talaga ina-expect. But they get a similar free point na ibinigay nila kanina sa Vanguard.
That's just a lucky break for Rojas. Alanganin, no? Pancaked it. It touched the net. Tapos alanganin din yung pwesto nung pagbagsak sa Vanguard.
Double substitution. De Pamailo and Abdul Majid in to replace Enciso and Ramirez.
(19-16). Torres with the serve. Nandun na naman yung block for the Troopers. Torres picks it up. De Pamailo. Pupunta kay Labide with a point.
Cutting through that angle, Benjailo Labide. Very consistent right now for Philippine Army. And he has been getting a lot of clean hits in for the Troopers.
Nakita niya rin, no? Yung pagitan ng dalawang blockers. Found the angle to send it home. Back to a 4-point lead for the Troopers. Oh, that's a net touch. Ang kabilang banda naman, ang the double substitution. De Suyo checking in with Tolentino, seeing their first action of the ball game. Neil, what is the reasoning? What's the purpose behind yung mga ganitong substitutions at the end of sets?
They do want 3 attackers in the front line in the men's division. Actually, not just in the men's division. Makikita mo rin yung mga double substitution in the PVL, but that's primarily the reason why they want a lot of options of the attack. And dahil pinapalitan nga yung setter, iba din yung flow or flavor na nadadala every time they come in.
And speaking of new flavors, kakapasok lang ni si Abdul Majid getting a point there. Did not hit it all that cleanly, but the angle was correct. And so he'll score a point back up to 4 ang lamang ng Philippine Army Troopers. That was troublesome to begin with.
Still called off the bench.
Tolentino committing an attacking error.
Too low on the contact.
Yeah.
Kaya pabalik agad si Villegas and Palisok.
Sometimes it will work out, like what happened with the Troopers. Sometimes it won't. That's what we've seen with the Vanguard. They'll still try to get back from this 5-point deficit, 22-17, as Labide will serve.
Vanguard already has 10 unforced errors in this set alone.
Wow.
Army already has 5 after that service error.
So, dagdag pa dun sa collection. Nung pamimerienda mamaya ng kupunan, 50 pesos. They go back to Rojas. That cut shot is good again.
Identifying his advantage, the shorter Villegas hitting that line.
Balik si Ramirez, pasok si Enciso para palitan sina De Pamailo at Abdul Majid, but those two did their job. Ngayon kasi yung Philippine Army pwedeng makipagpalitan ka na lang ng puntos as long as you don't allow the Vanguard to rally.
Yes, that will be a point for Philippine Army. The ball was already on their side bago paluin ni PJ Rojas. So I believe that would be a legal attack, but a challenge card is pulled up by the coaching staff of Vanguard Volleyball. Net touch. They're asking for a net touch violation against Rojas.
So it will be our first challenge for this particular ball game, 23-18. Oh, one of the best things about yung challenge systems sa volleyball is that you have to be very, very specific. I mean, you could be correct, but if you issue the wrong card, hindi pa rin mapupunta sa yung puntos.
At the very least, they could get a successful challenge, but there was a net violation. So
that's so tight.
That will be a successful challenge for Vanguard Volleyball. Yep.
The challenge
Yung
is
dulo
successful.
ng kuko, itong si PJ Rojas.
If he didn't touch the net, that would have been a point.
Yep, for them.
For them.
Oh, a tremendous challenge coming from the Vanguard. Salmanon will serve here, replacing Diwa. 23-19, still a 4-point advantage for the Army. Good serve. Diretso kay Labida. Ramirez. Oh, goes to Enciso. And that is another point. Nasa 24 na po ang Army, just needing one to close off this first set.
In his previous team, Mark Enciso was carrying the heavy load of offense here despite your serve. But with the Philippine Army, sobrang balance yung nagiging contributions ng bawat isa.
Ito naman yung kanilang specialist, si Barrica. Trying to end things here in the first set in their favor. Good one. Over received, and that is going to be it for the Philippine Army Troopers. That was perfection. The substitution, the serve, and then of course, that one last attack.
Army relatively had an easy time, I would say, in this first set because they just had a lot of good serves.
And that will be your score at the end of the first set. It is a 6-point lead for the Army, 25-19. Check back with us here on One Sports and One Sports Plus for our second set. Back inside the Paco Arena where Philippine Army took the first set 25-19 against Vanguard. As you take a look at some of the highlights, muli po, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Carlo Pamintuan with Neil Flores on the call. And, you said at the top of the broadcast that errors will have to be minimized, but Vanguard unfortunately committed too many in that first set.
Yeah, I mean, they already had 10 to count, and in their previous game, nasa 37 nga yung count natin, and they don't want to replicate that against a team like Philippine Army. Although they had their own bright spots throughout the set, they had a couple of service aces by Vince Abroad, pero it was just too much. Yung maraming missed passes nila, it really gave Ron Villegas a difficult time in setting up their combination plays. I mean, the numbers, yes, they had the 3 aces, pero mas marami yung misreception, kaya hindi mo makikita yung effect nun dun sa statistics natin. So I would still say that Army did better in the serving department. But if there's one thing that we know, kayang umatake nitong Vanguard. Rezel Palisok and Vince Abroad can carry the load. But now in the second set, again, they have to give that excellent reception muna papunta kay Villegas.
It's all about cleaning it up for the Vanguard as they try to bounce back here in the second set. As I think a new player will enter the match for them in Jos Kamaganakan. We'll see action to start our second set. For the Philippine Army troopers, aside from those few unforced errors here and there, it was a very strong set for them.
There were a couple of miscues, but it was just the simple na ino-over na bola ng Vanguard na naging problematic for Philippine Army.
Go back to Rojas, and he is finding his way through the blockers in this matchup.
He is the current leading scorer for Philippine Army with 5 points, followed by Labide with 3. Liberato and Ramirez both have 2 points already. And for Vanguard Volleyball, Rubens Abroad already has 6 points, facing all scorers. Fernandez has 3, Sorio has 2, and Diwa has 1.
Neil, matagal na natin na nako-cover itong Philippine Army troopers. No? They've been consistently joining itong Spikers turf. And when Benjailo Labide has to score 25, 30 points just to get them just to compete for them, normally natatalo itong Army. It's all about getting the balance from the other players.
It's all about the team effort, definitely. And they've always, parang we feel that they fall short in the past few conferences that we had. But I think right now, with this lineup, a complete lineup in the Philippine Army, they can actually vie for that semi-final slot along with the other contenders that we have.
And that will be an attacking error. Oh, no. No, it won't be. Looks like there was
net violation.
A net violation.
Torres.
As we see this one more time. Yep, there was a touch there. Kahit na sobra yung naging atake. Villegas now serving. Off angle. Yep, too tough. Little too difficult.
Set was already way off the net. Hindi rin maganda yung contact point.
Yan yung mga decision na papaluin ko pa ba or
put it over.
Oo nga eh. Dadalhin ko na lang ba sa kabila just to keep the rally going. Decent first ball there. As Abrot is sent back. Kamaganakan picks it up. Good chance here for the Troopers, and they maximize it with Rojas.
Right now, I feel like Vanguard has to finally activate their middle blockers because mostly sa left and right wings talaga napupunta.
And DY is the type of player who can deliver points for you if you set him
He
up.
has that elevation. He also has that power. You can actually give a lot of different combination plays to Diwa.
Good serve. Outstanding coming from Rojas. Another good chance to score here. And Ciso was slowed down by the blockers. Kanino pupunta ang atake? They go to Palisok. Blocks. And the Troopers retake the lead, 4-3.
Again, predictability is a factor double block, well established for Philippine Army again.
Another thing that we've witnessed for the troopers is when their confidence is high, lalong gumaganda yung laro nila. Abrot gets it through the blockers and out. Back to a deadlock at 4 apiece.
And when you get delayed by the block, di ba talaga makokontrol yung trajectory ng rebound. And Rubens Abrot saw that Torres was really late for that close-up.
Nasa ilalim pa no? Doon tumama yung block.
And he's looking to score more points off this line.
So troopers, you want him gone quickly, and that is a good result.
Of course, we have limits dun sa reach here in the Paco Arena, so we really do have to control that ball.
Labide scoring another point, and more importantly, natanggal nila sa service area itong si Abrot, who had 3 aces in the first set, and they give the point back. And Ciso with the error.
You don't want to give breathing room for Vanguard Volleyball by giving these free points from the serves.
And now it will be Diwa serving for Vanguard. This is a good opportunity. Kamaganakan timing it. As Labide just manages to squeeze it across. Rally stays alive. The defense so far for Vanguard. And then they send it across for a point. Torres could not get to it.
Labide actually let go of that hit already from Palisok kasi broken play na, and he was far off the net, but Torres decided to go up for that. No problem with that. Yun nga lang, execution should be on point, especially when you're blocking broken plays.
From the back row, too strong from Rojas.
Definitely a check ball. They are saying that they didn't touch that ball.
I think ano lang, it was a reminder coming from our officials kasi meron pong specific area kung saan pwedeng manatili yung mga players in the corners. Another over reception.
Asking for
an overreach perhaps, yeah. Will they issue a challenge? No, they won't.
There's a proper distance when you're getting that first ball para may allowance din yung setter for certain movement. Ooh, tight set.
Yeah. There's 4 touches. Hindi na lumipat yun. And those back-to-back points for the Army will get them a 2-point lead, 8-6, as we head into our first technical timeout.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023. Now, kung yung Army Troopers, meron naman silang fine. Ito naman yung Vanguard, more on internal motivation naman sila as they wish to prove themselves to their team managers. Dahil 3 times a week lang daw yung training nila, but if they get to prove themselves, magiging 5 times a week na daw yan, which Vanguard believes that they need, especially as a relatively new squad. What do you think, Carla Neil?
Well, it certainly helps when you get more reps diba? Pero we know that it comes with cost. So, kailangan, magandang ano rin yun, magandang trade-off. If you show us more, then we will give you more.
And right now, it's the same skill set that they just have to polish for Vanguard. And these players, again, marami na tong experience, not just in college, but also in the other leagues that they join.
Yeah.
So, papasok na dito yung maturity.
Di malinis yung first ball itong Army, kaya naman di na sila nakapuntos noon. That's back-to-back now for Vanguard as they've tied the contest at 8. Labide. Has been Labide and Rojas powering the attacks for the Philippine Army, and so far nahihirapan pa rin makakuha ng antidote sa kanila itong kupunan ng volley hitters.
High efficiency attacking for Labide.
For what, about 40%, diba, in his last matchup.
And maganda rin na you get to conserve the energy of your top attackers.
Oh.
That was a great pickup from Uy. Nabitin lang on the third touch.
But you have to applaud the effort.
Yeah,
No? He
A for effort,
did his
definitely.
best. Kamaganakan, soaring. Uy, hindi kasi nakuha yung footing talaga eh.
Good substitution also for Coach Echet, deciding to put the veteran Joven Kamag-anakan in. You can see the elevation. He has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Not just in indoor volleyball, pati sa beach volleyball. So, nakikita mo rin the way he looks at the game and yung court sense. Maganda.
Chance here, and they maximize it as they get a point from Fernandez.
Might just be the missing link we've been looking for aside from the reception, the activation from the middles. And I just noticed na lefty pala itong si Fernandez. So it's a very difficult task for blockers to man left-handed spikers.
Kailangan mong tandaan lagi no? You have to remind yourself that's it. On the opposite side, a quick though will be scoring for the Army.
That's what you call control on the side of Liberato. Wasn't the perfect set for him. Didn't like the height so much, but he still adjusted mid-air to get that point for the Troopers.
And all is our count. Abrot sent back. Oh, great effort here for the defense of the Troopers. A kick. This rally is something else. We continue.
That is a valid touch.
And that will be off the blockers, a point for the Troopers. But the highlight was that soccer move from Ramirez.
Good save from Ramirez. And that is a valid touch for all of our new viewers here in volleyball. Pwede po yun use any part of your body as long as it's one motion.
Sometimes you have to get creative. Another over reception. Troopers with a chance here. Mula sa likod, Labide. Set up by Kamag-anakan. First great attack of this exchange, and Enciso scores.
That is his stronger angle as an opposite attacker. Change in setter this time for Vanguard Volleyball. Desuyo will be coming back to replace Villegas.
Very short stint for him earlier at the tail end of our first set. Let's see if this substitution. So let's do some more positives for the Vanguard. Another service error. I believe that will be his second of the matchup. So 100 pesos down for Ramirez. (12-11). Only a 1-point lead here for the Troopers. In the first set, it was right about this stage where they established some control of the matchup. That's just an easy push. Abrot sent back. One more try here. Again, the blockers are there. Oh, some color developing between Abrot and Rojas.
Mga magkakaibigan naman to off the court. So, of course, that's really part of the game. Try until you get it to go. He was blocked the first time. This time, he used the blockers. And you can see kung ano yung ginagawa ni Disuyo right now. Tinataas niya yung bola para makadiskarte si Vince Abrot dun sa angle na gusto niyang piliin. That you can expect PJ Rojas to come back in this next rally.
Good pancake. Rojas ulit. Oh, sent up by Jones, but it will sail out. Biglang tingin kay Abrot. Here we go. The troopers doing trooper things.
Vince Abrot was committed dun sa middle blocker, and he forgot that PJ Rojas was still there. No blockers. Instant point for the troopers.
Yep, PJ Rojas is there, and PJ Rojas is annoyed. So he gets a point here. Good clean fun, huh, Neil? Oh, good serve. Diwa. Pinilit na lang. As they will go back to Rojas. That is straight to the net, though.
Too low. Vanguard tying things up at 13. This is a closer set compared to the first one. And Army has been trying to establish a 2-3 point lead.
Yeah.
Pero kahit papano nakakahabol itong Vanguard. So they're in a better position right now. 3 attackers in the front. Strong front line for Vanguard Volleyball.
Mabilis naman yung bawi from Enciso once again. Yung Vanguard battling back, but they can't seem to get ahead in this set. Another good serve from Rojas.
Targeting Vince Abrot.
Nang utak na lang itong si Palisok. Surveyed the floor, saw the gap in the defense, and then capitalized.
That ball just dropped dun sa end line. He thought that it was going outside, but last second went in.
So deadlock once again at 14. Siyempre, target si Rojas.
They've been targeting each other. Labide wanted to be creative in that last hit.
No block touch though, just out of bounds for Labide. As the lead finally goes to Vanguard, 15-14. This one is out. The hit was wide for Abrot.
In the bigger picture, itong mga paisa-isa will eventually just add up. Here in the second set, Vanguard already has 2 unforced errors on the serves. Army has 3. So they're kind of neutralizing each other dun sa department na yon.
Oh, that's much better. Kanina pa natin hinahanap. How will you activate Diwa? That is certainly a great setup coming from Disuyo.
It's about time for Vanguard to give more sets to Diwa, an explosive attacker as well.
And that will lead us to our second technical timeout of the second set, 16-15. Vanguard up by 1. Vanguard hoping to add on to this 1-point lead and cruise to a set win to level this matchup. They lost the first one by 6. Pero at least ngayon, nakatikim sila ng kalamangan and they did not allow the troopers to get too comfy. Like, what happened in the first set? Was there a touch?
Nope, there wasn't a touch, says the first referee, but they will challenge that call.
Is block touch the correct
That I'm not
request here?
sure.
Because block touch yung...
I don't think that's in the options of our challenge cards.
Kasi serve eh. So bawal mong i-block. So paano magiging block touch? So
They're asking for a check ball, but that's the I guess that's the nearest na challenge card available.
walang specific.
So it's either payagan ito ng first referee or it's going to be a judgment call on his side to make a decision in that last rally.
Very, very interesting. Of course, ito yung first time natin, Neil, no, to have a
Yeah.
challenge system in Spiker's Turf.
Yeah, and that will be a point for Philippine Army. That challenge will not be granted. And again, you only have 6 options
Yeah.
for the challenge.
So you can challenge everything, no? Merong mga items that will fall through the gaps. Yes, we will pick things up. Tied at 16.
Now a yellow card will be given to Vanguard Volleyball for delaying this game. Yung mga ganitong instances na wala ka ng control, you have to let it go and focus on the next point because they're pretty much right in this set. I mean,
Yeah,
16 all, hindi naman ganun kalaki pa yung difference. So they do have to score this next point.
Good serve coming from Torres. Nice pickup from Enciso. Oh, that falls in.
Coverage a bit slow for Philippine Army. Nobody there to support Labide on that hit. And it was a high ball to actually get.
Kaya pa dapat eh, no? But it will not work out for the Troopers. Vanguard retakes the lead. Oh, but they tie. They allow a tie once again. That will be their third service error. Again, they had 10 errors in the first set that basically doomed them, Neil.
Yeah. These are the errors that can definitely cost them the set. You would think na isa lang yung error na yun, but as you go down the road...
Another error. De Suyo not connecting with Fernandez. That's back-to-back mistakes in this crucial junction of the match, Neil.
Familiarity issues, perhaps, for Vanguard Volleyball.
Good serve. De Suyo goes to Kamaganakan. Well dug up there by the libero. Uy. Rojas gets it through.
Army gets to establish a 2-point lead. Rojas has that advantage against the shorter De Suyo. So as you can see, he's been hitting that line angle.
Tapos bakit nagkakaroon pa tayo ng mga ganyan ano? Anong wala hindi niya nililinis. Sige, iwasan natin yung ganyan kasi ito na yung chance eh. So binibitawan natin. Oh, wala yung momentum natin. Ha? Go. Simulan ulit yan. Pasa. Maayos naman eh. Nakapasa. Ang ganda naman natin. Kaya lang, hindi natin natutuloy. Tayong pumipigil din, di ba? Go. Dalawa.
Malayo pa yung pre-hack. Game.
19-17. What seems like a luxurious 2-point lead for the Philippine Army. This second set has been tight. And in the past couple of points, nagpapalitan lang halos ng lamang ang magkabilang koponan. Now a 2-point advantage for the Philippine Army Troopers. Another new player seeing action. This is Clyde Obay checking in. Kamaganakan. Still dug up pero hindi na abot. Tumama na sa antena yung bola. So a point back for Vanguard.
Kamaganaga steady as the second outside hitter of Vanguard Volleyball, scoring a couple of points already in this set.
May napakagat si Obay no? Dun sa talon niya. Kaya hindi na nakapagtatag ng magandang block ang Troopers. This is a good first ball. They go right back to Rojas. He touches the line for another kill.
These are the hits na wala ka na magagawa because it happened so fast. Rojas targeting that corner pocket. Position was different on the side of Vanguard Volleyball and titingnan mo na lang talaga yung bola and hope that it drops outside.
Rojas picking it up. And Ciso, that is off the block and out.
Biggest lead of the set for Philippine Army. Compared to the first set, medyo, I would say, bumagal yung laro ng Philippine Army, but better late than never to establish that 3-point lead.
They go back to abroad, but he's sent back. The joust. Going to the side of Vanguard, a miss hit. And the errors are piling up for the volley hitters.
Execution again. Not on point for Vanguard Volleyball. They will be forced to burn another timeout. They're down by 4.
Pakinggan natin sila.
Angasan nyo, siguraduhin natin, panindigan natin. Kasi kaya naman ninyo eh. Naniniwala kami dun. Okay, kaya unang kailangan kayo muna maniwala sa sarili nyo dyan, ha? Okay? O, magsalita ka dyan, mag-ingay kayo sa support dyan.
Wala na, apat tayo. Up tayo. Umpisahan natin sa pasa. Tapos cover tayo pag may matake. Let's go. Up. Vanguard!
And this is Spikers Turf 2023, the Open Conference matchup in our preliminary stage between the Army Troopers, Philippine Army Troopers, and the Vanguard Volley Hitters. Po, maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay sa One Sports, One Sports Plus, Smart Live Stream, and the Signal Play app. Troopers protecting a 4-point lead. Babawasan ng isa as Obay doing damage in his, first couple of, I think first touch of this entire matchup.
Yeah. Not the tallest of middle blockers, but look at that height, power tip. Gets it to go for Vanguard.
Oh, that's painful.
And just so many errors really plaguing Vanguard Volleyball at this point. Substitution for Philippine Army, Barica will be serving.
Siya yung tumapos kanina, no? Nung ating first set with a good serve. That was over-received by Vanguard. Let's see if they can do it again. 4-point lead for the Troopers. Friendly fire.
Still cold. One of the toughest jobs coming from the bench. Itong mga pinch servers, iba yung pressure talaga sa kanila. Especially in crucial situations. Buti nga ngayon, Army still has that lead. But can you imagine pinch servers serving at 24 all or 25 all? And that unforced error will give Army their 24th point.
Wow, I mean, you just go back to those errors. Yan yung kailangan balik-balikan itong Vanguard. They had so many chances in this set, but now, set point now, Philippine Army. They're also on the other side, 24-21. Abrot will have to get 3 straight to keep his team here in the second set. Good pick up from Enciso. They give it back to him. Nice little exchange here. And that will be outside. First of the 3 they needed.
Great exchange for both these teams. Lot of hard hits. Defensive sequences. Fast reaction time actually for Joven Kamag-anakan.
Here we go again with a Brot. Oh! Painful. Service error will allow the Philippine Army Troopers to get a 2-0 advantage versus Vanguard. 25 19, 25, 22. We'll be back for the third. So far, so good for the Philippine Army Troopers with a 25-19 win in the first set, 25-22. A little bit tighter in the second set as we take a look at the highlights. Muli po, maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa men's volleyball action dito sa Spikers Turf. Carlo Pamintuan and Neil Flores on the call. Neil, it was a tight first set up until the tail end where the Army just gained control.
Again, Vanguard was able to score 22 points in set number 2. Better showing compared to set number 1. But again, yung mga errors na nag-pile up, ito talaga yung nag-cost sa kanila noong set number 2. They had a lot of attack points. They had a couple of block points. But it was just the Philippine Army's maturity that took over in that latter part of set number 2.
And with Rojas leading the attack, Army will get the advantage. So both squads actually having 10 errors.
Yep. And for Vanguard, they had 6 service errors in set number 2. For Army, they had 7 service errors. So that's a total of 20 errors already for Vanguard Volleyball.
And then the timing of the service errors, no, Neil. Dun sa dulo pa talaga nangyari yung dalawa that just prevented them from getting any kind of rhythm to try and get one last ditch, one last effort to win that second set. Ngayon naman, paano sila babawi? How do you overcome yung mga errors na ganyan mentally, Neil?
Well, first of all, you have to start out the right way. Because meron tayong tinatawag na snowball effect dun sa volleyball. And coaches would always point that out when one player makes a mistake, the following player on the service line, nag-iingat na din.
Yeah.
And the more that you take care of these services, the more that you commit these mistakes.
Pag hindi natural yung movement mo, no? And we've seen that happening on the side of Vanguard. They will need to clean things up. Pero yung maganda sa kanila, they've come up with a few adjustments here and there na nag-result naman into some positives.
Yeah. And right now we're seeing new faces on the side of Philippine Army. Villonson will be checking in with Balwalwa. And for Vanguard, De Suyo will be the starting setter and Obay will still be that middle blocker.
So we're just about ready to start our third set. Here in this matchup, Vanguard, ayaw magpatalo dito, especially not in straight sets. They will give it their all to stay alive in this match. Captain Benjailo Labida, leading scorer in their last game. Now taking the secondary role to Rojas. Vanguard will go to the back row. Nabitin yung talon. Itong si Kamag-anakan.
Tried to pull out that beach volleyball card for that pipe attack. Just too short for Kamag-anakan.
Dami natin nga galing sa beach volleyball, no?
And kita niya yung pwesto sa likod ng blockers. Nobody was there. Right intention, but not the best of execution.
Oh, natakam si Villanson. As Ramirez just had to smile it off.
That was the intention actually of Ramirez. I'm sure that it was his intention to set up that 1-2 play. But again, Villanson wasn't ready for it.
And this is now Diwa with a good one. And that's 4 touches. Di daw nahawakan ng blockers according to our officials.
Back-to-back errors for Philippine Army to start out set number 3. They do have to finish this in 3 straight sets because I would believe that youth is on the side of Vanguard Volleyball, and we always say that it's a different mindset pag panapos na.
Yeah. They get a point from Enciso. As he punctures the block there coming from Vanguard. Let's see this one more time. And sabi mo nga, Neil, yung mga lefty hitters, ang hirap talaga bantayan. That's outside. No block touch. Another point for the Army.
A lot of backspin on the previous hit of Abroad. Wanted to hit the fingertips of the blocker.
And that is in. Tumama naman sa kanto yung atake na yon from Vanguard as Palisok was able to get one back.
Palisok has been quiet actually. That's the 5th point, but we're used to seeing him in double digits most of the time.
Oh, that back part, no coverage for the Army troopers.
Oh, by getting that block, even if he was late.
Go back to Enciso, tough angle, he's sent back. Rojas. Dug up by Kamaganakan. One-handed dig there as Rojas will try again. Off speed, easily dug up. And that's another point from Palisok.
Now is the time to catch fire, says Razel Palisok. 2-point lead for Vanguard Volleyball, so it's all about taking care of that lead.
Different aggression coming from Vanguard. Another chance to score here for them. Oh, tumama pa ba? Did it bounce off?
Yeah.
Did it bounce off the floor first or the defender first?
It hit by King first before it hit the floor. And kitang-kita naman natin sa reaction pa lang niya that he made that mistake.
Sabi ng coach niya, ano ginagawa mo kasi dyan sa labas? And that is out. Third attacking error coming from Villanson. Would you say that the Philippine Army troopers changed up a little too much heading into this third set?
That can be potentially a reason for the 4-point lead of Vanguard Volleyball. But PJ Ross is still there, and Enciso is still there, and they also have Labide. So yung pasok ng bagong players, it shouldn't be the biggest of factors for Philippine Army.
Enciso has been another great attacker here alongside Labide and Rojas. Good serve coming from Villanson. And that is off the blockers. Now just again a different feel for Vanguard as they build their biggest lead of the matchup right now, 8-4 here in the third set.
Vince Abroad this time going for that combination play. Not hitting it straight, getting a point for Vanguard Volleyball.
That will push us to our first TV timeout here in your third set.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023 live on One Sports Plus, and Smart Live Stream. Now, one thing that head coach Ed Mabayad struggles with Vanguard ay yung hiya factor nila. Nahihiya daw sila mag-communicate on the court, and in the huddle before the set, he specifically told his team to enjoy and wag daw mahiya mag-celebrate because these small things will help them gel and be more comfortable with each other on the court. Kagaya nga sinabi niya sa akin, mature naman sila, they just need a little bit of push. Back to you, Carlo Neal.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Ana Perlas. But so far, Vanguard now enjoying a 5-point lead. 9-4 against the Troopers. That is a good point back. A confidence builder, perhaps, for Balualua.
It was like a reverse layup for Philippine Army. Still down by 4 points, though. They have to make their move now if they want to catch up with Vanguard Volleyball, because at any point in time, pwedeng kumalas itong Vanguard Volleyball and just really establish a big lead. And that will add on to their 4-point lead. Let's make it 5.
Ito yung hindi pa nagagawa ng Philippine Army Troopers. Eh, no? They've shown us that they can build the lead, that they can hang on to it, but coming back from a deficit, is it something that they can also deliver to try and close this out here in the third set? They're down by 5.
Single blocker, reverse set from Nico Ramirez to Mark Enciso. Now he goes back to that back row. Receive mo, palo mo.
Vanguard also doing a great job of limiting their errors here in the third set. Still enjoying a 4-point lead. Army Troopers wanting a way back quickly. Oh, double contact.
Sometimes nalulula din talaga yung mga setters pag sobrang taas nung bola.
So even if you have a lot of time to prepare for it, decent serve there. And that will be out. No touch, according to our officials.
Back-to-back errors for Vanguard. From 5 points now, it's down to 2.
Philippine Army Troopers trying to regain control of this ball game. Enciso continues to serve here. So they go to Labide. Sent back. Quick sa gitna. Nadepensahan naman. And that will go out and in favor of Vanguard.
Joven kamag-anakan. Again, hitting it off the middle blocker of the Philippine Army. Lagi nilang chine-check kung sino yung nade-delay at doon nila pinapadaan yung bola to score a point. The lead is back to 3.
So mas effective, no? At least in terms of the quality of the attacks. Nagbago nung si Desuyo yung naglaro dito for Vanguard. But again, going back to the general theme of what this matchup has been, it's all about minimizing errors. That time around, though, another service mistake from Vanguard. Sinuli naman sa kanila. Itong si Balualua.
7 errors on the serve in set number 2 for Philippine Army. Madami-daming 50 pesos na yun,
May pang merienda mamaya. Pero yan kasi madaling bayaran pag nanalo ka, di ba? So that is first order of business. So no block, no touch, sabi ng ating officials. And now we have an official challenge on a block touch. This one, definitely we can take a look at again.
Now, this is a valid challenge card to pull up.
3-point advantage currently for the Vanguard. So the Army think that there was a touch on it. Yes. Take another look at it.
Yup, there was a block touch.
You know, kita mong
Middle
gumalaw yung
finger dun sa
middle
right
finger.
hand
Yeah.
ni Diwa. Good challenge.
So big point, di ba? Dapat panglamang ng 4 nitong Vanguard. Instead, it's down to a 2-point advantage for them. Good attack. Still effective. Itong si Vince Abrot, he led them with 18 points in the last game. Now still pouring in the points.
Right now, it's really Palisok and Rubens Abrot pouring in the attack points for Vanguard Volleyball.
Diwa with the serve. Rojas with a rocket. But it is not going to result to a point yet. May sumabit sa net. Looks like it might be, yep, the setter.
That violation will be called on Philippine Army. So Vanguard will maintain that 4-point lead. Oh, it was his foot that caught the net on his way down. So ganun kataas.
Oh nga,
Tumalon.
ng talon. Who will stop the bleeding for the Troopers. And as usual, it is Rojas once again, their leading scorer of this matchup.
Challenging the defenders of Vanguard Volleyball.
Not a pretty first ball there. Pipilitin na lang ni Kamaganakan. Uy with a good dig. Back to Rojas.
Palisok has been digging the down-the-line hits of Rojas.
Oh, great timing. Ng veterano itong si Rojas with that point.
Great find from Rojas. Corner pocket. Way open. The libero wasn't able to go back to his position after he put that ball over.
Quick. Almost leading to a point. Yes, it will. As Vanguard ups their lead to 3. To Rojas once again. This time, the rally will continue. Rojas sent back. Oh, misunderstanding there.
That's the second time. Same spot for that over ball. Combination play was well read by Vanguard Volleyball, but the libero had other things in mind to put that ball on the first touch.
Nandun na si Kamaganakan eh, no? Napupwestuhan na niya, but result to a point for the Troopers. Abroad. Enjoying his exchanges with Rojas. But you know what? Obay, ang dami niyang napapakagat na defenders because he goes all in dun sa talon niya.
An explosive approach every single time. Kaya naiiwang buka yung blockers for the wing hitters.
Technical timeout. We have a 16-13 tally in favor of Vanguard. Vanguard has proven that they could build a lead against the Philippine Army Troopers. Now it's all about putting everything together and picking up a set here in the third, trying to stay alive. Abrot with an ace.
Huge confidence booster after that hit in that previous rally before the technical timeout.
Another good serve from Abrot. Rojas, blocked by Kamag-anakan.
Substitutions helping the cause of Vanguard Volleyball.
Yeah.
The entry of Obay and the entry of Tesuyo. Abrot already has 11 points, 4 aces, and 7 attacks.
That's a smart hit from Enciso.
And he's always keeping things simple.
Yeah. Don't need to complicate matters.
Just enough effort on his end, not overexerting himself in the rallies that we've had, but very effective. PJ Ross also with 12 points built on 12 attacks. Very similar production from him and Abrot.
Well dug up there. As Tesuyo goes to Kamag-anakan with a soft touch. Great dives, kaso hindi na uubra, wala na sa anggulo. Yung subok mula kay Enciso. 5-point lead for Vanguard, 19-14.
This was actually the biggest lead that Vanguard had early on. And Army was able to trim that down to 2 points, but now it's back to 5. Vanguard a few points away from extending our match to a 4th frame.
But Labide still battling. He does not want to see a 4th set because momentum will be on the side of the younger crew. Milo Abdul Majid did wonders for them in the first set. Let's see if they could do it again here in the third. Court is effective for Vanguard as it's back to a 5-point lead for them.
Even if they exchange points right now with the Philippine Army, they will still come out on top. That's the restraint that Palisok has shown us.
Good quick as Balwalwa scores.
Still trying to fight back and recover from this deficit. Good set from Depamilo going to Balwalwa. Barika will be replacing Balwalwa on the service line. Will try to make up for his service error a while ago.
(20-16). Basically need 2 for every 1 point that they would give up to somehow get back into this matchup. Much better serve.
Iwa with a short slide attack to get it to go for Vanguard. It was a good serve, but the pass was perfect from Kamag-anakan in transition to that short slide.
They have not gone to him a lot, but he has delivered. Talking about the middle, itong si Diwa.
Yep.
Overreach.
Overreach, and there was also a net violation on the side of Vanguard. Good eye from our first referee. Now PJ Rojas will march back in. He will try to salvage this set. 3 attackers ulit for Philippine Army.
Pamilo will pick it up. Barika. Set up. Abdul Majid. Oh, there was an exchange at the net. Tuloy pa rin tayo dito. Rojas. Tough angle. Paluin ni Abdul Majid. Did not get all of it, but got enough.
Not the strongest of hits, definitely, but you don't need a powerful hit to score a point.
That wasn't pretty. Both teams scampering just to get some flow sa kanilang opensa, but it will be the Troopers scoring as their deficit is down to 3.
Wala natin, kunin natin agad yung magandang pasa na yan. Ha? Emphasize sa para magawa natin yung play natin. Ha? Unti-unti yan, malapit na. Tiyagayin natin yan.
Sa kayo, sayang yung mga ano.
Wala yung momentum sa atin.
Pasa muna, pre. Sayang yung chance mo. Pisa muna ulit natin sa pasa, tapos atake tayo.
Say, Vanguard! Pre, tapusin natin kahit isahan yan. Panalo tayo dyan.
21-18, 3-point lead for Vanguard. Protecting it has been tough, but so far, that's exactly what they're doing. See here is wag nang palapitin pa itong Philippine Army Troopers. Oh, that's just too strong. Labide could not send it up anymore.
This has been the most efficient set for Palisok compared to the first 2 frames. He has regained his confidence. That is bad news for Philippine Army.
Almanon will enter to serve, replacing Diwa. I think the X factor in this matchup has been Kamaganakan. Ever since he entered in the second set, nag-iba yung timpla. Gave them new looks, good defense as well. The Pamailo goes to Rojas. One more chance here for the Troopers. Abdul Majid finds a way through.
Better execution for Abdul Majid a while ago. Medyo off timing dun sa mga hits. But now, Army will go back to their regular rotation. And Ciso will be manning the opposite side of the court. And Nico Ramirez will be pulling the strings.
Pero hindi pwedeng makipagpalitan lang ng puntos itong Troopers. They're still behind by 3. As they will have to rally at this stage. Here we go with Ramirez. Back in the ball game and serving. Safe serve. It's a good touch from the blockers. Rojas, sobra yung set.
Too strong on the toss for Nico Ramirez. Missed opportunity though for Philippine Army. It was a good rebound by Villonson. Napabagal yung first ball from Uy.
And now Vanguard 2 points away from forcing a 4th set. Kamaganakan wanted a highlight there. And they will give up a point from the back row.
Napaganda pa yung broken play for Philippine Army. We've seen that a lot in the international tournaments. Yung mga back row players approaching for an attack, especially Team Japan.
Don't get us wrong, when it works out, it's pretty. It's a highlight, but it's very difficult to get perfectly.
So the outside hitters need to be prepared as well for these kinds of sets.
23-20, Vanguard will call a timeout. They just need 2 points to win this set.
Block tayo na maayos ha. Ilang spike nila? Tatlo, dalawa. Tatlo. Sa isa tayo, tao-tao na tayo. Pasok mo yung service mo ha.
Sasabayan. Sasabayan.
Let's go, let's go, ha? Let's go. Vanguard!
Vanguard!
Panglas yan, panglas.
Sigurado yan, sasabayan yan.
(23-20), Philippine Army Troopers getting their fair share of points, but not consecutively, not enough to storm their way back into this contest in the 3rd set. Now, backs are basically against the wall. They need to make something happen. They will go back to Rojas. Soft touch, easily defended. Ramirez, back to Rojas. Powering it through this time.
Army still in this set. You can see the hustle from both of these teams. Transitioning from defense to offense. Ang bilis nung balikan ng mga bola. Especially when the outside hitters attack that ball, it happens so fast.
Not a pretty first ball. Pero nagawan pa ng paraan. Lesuyo. Wow, what a dive from Labide. Rojas. And not scored just yet. Good rally here. Oh, that is out. Was there a touch? No, says the referee. So another point for the Troopers. They're just down by 1.
Obay just too eager to hit that ball over. There will be a challenge for a block touch on Balwalwa, but he is saying that there was no block touch on that hit from Obay.
But might as well, right? I mean, at this stage, crucial. Lahat ng puntos. As if this challenge is successful, it will put Vanguard at set point. Again, as of the moment, the score is 23-21 in favor of Vanguard. Will it be 24-21 or 23-22? Well, that all depends on the result of this official challenge. Again, we have multiple cameras. And our officials are looking at all angles to see where they can best review the contact, if there was any.
This can swing the momentum back
For
to
sure.
the Philippine Army if
For
this
sure.
challenge is successful. So the referees want to make a good decision on this challenge.
So 2-0 advantage for the Philippine Army. Vanguard competing to stay alive. As our technical officials are still looking at all possible angles. Neil, could it be inconclusive? Could the review be inconclusive?
Puede.
And then the call on the floor will stay, right?
That is possible. So there are a lot of scenarios that we have to factor in when we have challenges like this.
We've seen different angles on it, at least in the official review. Pero I think yung hinahanap is yung angulo nung mismong hit. And I think that would be the case, no? The feeling is it will be inconclusive.
And if that happens, it's going to be up to the first referee to make a decision. So most probably it will stick with the Philippine Army.
Because that was the call on the floor. Again, I think the angle of our cameras, yung angulo rin ng palo, hindi na nahagip ng malinis. Kung paano yung naging contact, if there was any again.
Based on our point of view, though, that looked like a good call from the referee.
So it's a tough development in case yun nga yung mangyayari. As we're just awaiting the official word from our officials. Again, this is a crucial call dahil patapos na po ang ating third set. It's 23-21 as of the moment. Yes, the point will be given to the Philippine Army Troopers. They're just down by 1. That's 3 straight points for them. And now Joel Villonson serving to tie the contest. Good dig from Labide. Rojas on the approach, soft touch. And that is a power hit from Palisok. He has been a man possessed here in the third set.
What a time to get that point for Vanguard. Just 1 point away from sending us to a fourth set.
Timeout naman, hihingi ng Troopers. Let's listen in.
Saan ka ang pwesto mo?
Doon ako.
Sa dulo ka. 5 ka. Ayusin mo yung pasok mo ha. Bigay mo ng 5. PJ, laban mo ta.
Laban na natin.
Harap si Disuyo. Ando Diyos. Pag harap setter, bigay mo dito ha.
Tatlo spike.
Ha?
Tatlo spike eh.
Sige, pasukan mo lang ng magandang pasok. Bigay mo sa'yo ha. Laban tayo.
And now trying to stay alive here in the third set, the Philippine Army Troopers down by 2, 24-22. This has been a strong performance so far for Vanguard. Can they complete it? And they will just need another point to get there. Rojas will not be able to score a point. Vanguard extends this matchup to a fourth set.
Great block from Kamag-anakan, one of the game changers for Vanguard. And they will extend this match to a fourth frame.
25-19, 25-22 for the Army. And then flip, 25-22 for Vanguard in the fourth set when we come back. Three sets down, the fourth coming up. This is Spikers Turf 2023, our open conference. Mula pa rin po dito sa Paco Arena. Carlo Pamintuan with Neil Flores on the call. Set 3 highlights. It was a good one for Vanguard. They were fighting to stay alive and they gave it their best effort of the match so far.
And Army changed their starting unit in set number 3. Clearly didn't work for them. Vanguard got their momentum going. So, ibang usapan na itong fourth set again. Obay doing a wonderful job manning the net. Kamag-anakan doing a good job also on the non-scoring skills. And I would say that Vanguard was just in control of set number 3 compared to the first 2 frames. They were able to establish a 5-point lead. Army cut that down to 2 pero naibalik ng Vanguard yun into 5 points. And they managed to put out the fire from Army in the latter part of set number 3. 16 attacks for Army, but Vanguard was just in control of the blocking department and the serving this time. And they were able to minimize their errors to 6.
Dahil nga nabawasan nila ng 4 yung errors nila. That was it. That was the difference in the first 2 sets. And now they will hope to pull level and stay alive once again. Win the 4th set, force a 5th, and try to go for a bounce-back victory. Muli po itong magkabilang koponan na lost in their last game. So they need to get on the winning side quickly, as our top teams are already trying to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Again, 11 squads seeing action in our open conference. Only 4 will make it into the semifinals. 7 will be eliminated, and the Troopers and Vanguard both are hoping that they will not be part of that group of 7 squads.
Two players already in double figures for Vanguard Volleyball. Abrot and Palisok combining for 22 points. And for Army, they have PJ Ross with 13 and Ciso and Labide with 9 apiece.
Fourth set about to start here in the Paco Arena. There's Abrot and Palisok, as you said, the main men. But you have to appreciate the efforts coming from the other guys as well. Kamaganakan, a substitute, doing well. Desuyo, once he was given the reins to the offense, has also done well as we begin our fourth set here in this matchup. It will be Kamaganakan serving first. The momentum now on their side. Let's see how they try to build on that.
Oh. Diwa was just in the way of Desuyo. Desuyo tried to push him, but hindi kinaya.
Ang laki. Sabay sila nag-block tapos hindi nakaiwas. And that will be a mistake to open our fourth set for the Vanguard. Ayun na yung middle. Diwa making up for it. Yun naman yung maganda kay Desuyo, di ba? We made a mistake together. Now, bibigyan kita ng pagkakataon to get it back.
That was also the main difference of the play style of Vanguard in set number 3. They were able to give more sets to the middle blockers. Kaya meron ka rin makikita ng mga instances na free block si Vince Abrot.
And that will be out for Kamaganakan. Good effort. But he will end up giving up a point to the Philippine Army.
Now Liberato and Torres is back as the middle blockers for Philippine Army.
So balik dun sa starters, no? Itong Philippine Army. Abrot, sent up. And now Enciso with the touch. Alfaro gets to it. From the back row, Kamaganakan slowed down by the tape. Enciso with the left hand.
Army starting out better compared to that third frame. Medyo bumagal yung start ng Philippine Army in set number 3. They had 2 or 3 unforced errors to start that set.
Yung attacking errors, no? Yun yung nagpabagal sa kanila. Meanwhile, they give up a point here. That's another service error for Liberato. You add 50 pesos to the team funds of the Philippine Army Troopers. Kung ngayon mo lang po kayo nanonood, yung report kanina ni Messiana Perilla said that for every service error committed by their squad, kailangan magbayad ng 50 pesos team funds. Oh, the great block there. Torres, I think, got a hand on it.
And Palisok wanted to go for a soft rebound, but the deflection just went down. Sometimes sinasadya ng mga players yun that they would intentionally hit it dun sa kamay ng blockers para bumalik ng magaan on their side so that they can go for another attempt on the attack. But right now, Army already has a 3-point lead to start off this fourth frame.
Service ace for Rojas. And this, yung aces natin have been heavily on the side of Vanguard. Courtesy of Abrot mostly. Okay, muntik makadalawa itong si Rojas. They'll get a nice opportunity here. Oh, they find the angle.
And when you have the Philippine Army going for combination plays, it will really be troublesome on your end. As a lefty, ang daming pwedeng puntahan ni Martin Ciso, especially from the middle part of that court.
Ito, nagkombinasyon. Kung nandun tayo sa pattern natin sa block, buhay. Okay? So, nawawala tayo doon. So, kailangan pa tayong magsalita. Kasi wala yung nagsasalita rin. Pakiramdaman na naman kayo, okay?
Apat lang. Pasa. Kailangan ng pasa.
Kailangan magsalita.
Mag-lead ka, Rek. Tara. Say, Vanguard!
Vanguard.
Tapat sa pasa.
Good strong start for the Philippine Army Troopers as they've built a 4-point lead hot off the gates here in the fourth set. And now how do you bounce back if you're Vanguard? We'll have to arrest this kid quickly. Another strong serve coming from Rojas. And that will be out. Point of the block para sa Vanguard as we take another look at this attack coming from Abrot.
They know how to maximize the late blockers, talking about Vanguard, not just Vince Abrot, but also Kamag-anakan and Palisok. So it's really the wing hitters doing the damage for Vanguard Volleyball. And now, Nico Ramirez, kung kanina more of the sets na pupunta kay PJ Rojas, now ini-involve niya na yung middle blockers.
That short runner will work out for Torres. As now Enciso will serve. Try and extend this lead. Nagawan pa ng paraan yun. Inisang kamay na lang ni Desuyo.
Great connection from Oba and Desuyo. One-handed back set at that.
Saktong-sakto yung setup. 7-4, still in favor of Army. Oh! Tumama na po sa ilaw, so that will officially be out of bounds. And it will push us to our first technical timeout of the fourth set. It is 8-4 in favor of the Philippine Army Troopers. That running attack set up, but it hit the lights. I'll give a point to the Philippine Army.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023. This is the battle between Vanguard Volley Hitters versus the Philippine Army Troopers. Now in the Philippine Army Troopers' huddle coming into the set, head coach Melvin Carolina talked about the amount of opportunities given to Vanguard because of how rattled and chaotic their plays were in the last set. Head coach Melvin couldn't quite pinpoint why his team reacted this way, but he just reminded them to relax if they want to take home the win. Back to you, Carla and Neil.
Thank you for that report, Miss Ayana Perlas. Vanguard got a point back with an attack, but they quickly give up a point to the Philippine Army with that service error. This is absolutely the wrong time to start going back to those mistakes if you're Vanguard.
And 4 points is already a big lead for Philippine Army.
Rojas getting it through the blockers, pero may pagkakataon pa dito ang Vanguard. Oh, just a swipe coming from Kamag-anakan.
They're asking for a
touch?
check ball,
No,
but
hindi tinawag.
now a challenge will be pulled up by the coaching staff of Ejet Mabayad.
So earlier today, they had a challenge that proved inconclusive. So importante, malaman natin ulit that the initial call was that a point will be going to the Troopers.
Philippine Army, because the lines judge called that it was outside.
So we're just waiting for the official review. Here we go with the challenge. And everyone looking on. Nakatingin lahat, pati sa screens nila. And the bounces off the tape.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. Looks clean.
Looks clean.
Looks.
There was no block touch.
Looks clean. By mere millimeters. But I think that's a good call.
And they laugh it off. Konting banter between our coaching staffs.
So doubling up now. It's the Philippine Army 10-5 against Vanguard.
This is what Vanguard did to Philippine Army in set number 3. Now the tides have changed.
Much better floor defense also. Off-speed hit will not score yet for Enciso. Kamaganakan trying to power one through. But the defense has stood tall now for the Troopers, and they get a point. Another one, extending this lead to 6.
Last second decision for PJ Rojas to just give a soft touch to that attempt. Double block was already there. No sense in challenging the blocking pattern of Vanguard. Now Fernandez will be replacing Diva as their middle blocker.
11-5. Kailangan nang makarally itong Vanguard. They go to Kamaganakan, but now he's being defended a little bit better by the Troopers. Biggest lead of the ball game at this stage, 8 points, 13-5. At hindi na hihintayin pa ng Vanguard na lumaki lalo yung kanilang kailangang habulin. They call this timeout.
Binitawan na naman natin, di ba? Nag-start kasi tayo ng hindi agad tama. Ha? O pagbalik nito, galing tayo magsimula na ulit natin ng tama, ha? Okay? Pasa, set, basa sa block. Huwag tayong talon ng talon, okay? Go. Sige, tsagayin natin yan. Tsagayin natin, okay? Isa-isahin natin yan.
Malayo pa. Buhayin nyo yung sarili nyo dyan.
Kailangan nang gumawa ng paraan para makalapit kahit papano itong Vanguard. As the Philippine Army has built their biggest lead of this entire matchup at 8 points. 13-5. Again, we thank you for joining us on One Sports Plus. If you're on the road, on the Smart Live Stream app, and on the Signal Play app as well. Carlo Pamintuan po, bringing the action alongside Neil Flores and Miss Ayana Perlas. This is the first game of our double header here in your Spikers Turf Open Conference. Again, the floor defense has looked strong for the Troopers. Pumalo si Desuyo, but he was slowed down.
Oh, what a
nasuklian
crafty
sila doon.
drop ball from Ramirez. Good eye. That was an excellent push, really. Look at that.
But Neil, you can sense the desperation a bit coming from the side of Vanguard. They're trying out things that they have not done in this entire match.
And pinapahirapan nga sila itong floor defense ng Philippine Army, but Kamag-Anakan stops the bleeding for Vanguard, and they still have Rubens Abrot there in the front line. Magpapalit na sila ng posisyon ni Joven Kamag-Anakan.
And Kamag-Anakan now serving his team down by 8. And that is in. I think that touched the line.
You just have to take it 1 point at a time,
Yeah.
slowly but surely for Vanguard Volleyball. Not impossible, but I would say that this is kind of a deep hole for their squad.
That is out too strong for Kamag-Anakan. So back to a 7-point lead for the Army. Yung hirap kasi pag nalamangan ka ng maaga, it's so difficult to get back. You spend so much energy just to try and inch closer.
Oh,
Picture perfect quick.
Fernandez with an emphatic point for Vanguard Volleyball.
Oh, they need more of that. They need more options.
They are receiving better though, pero yun nga, they can attack pero paminsan nabibitin lang when it comes to coverage. And when you get these not so clean plays, you always have to put at least one defender behind the attacker para kahit papano, they have that confidence na merong susuporta sa kanila in the event that they get blocked. And it happens most of the time.
But now some flow on the offense of Vanguard. Battling back. Down by 5 still, but at least they're getting their hits in. Better reception there. That was not the strongest of hits, but still, it leads to a point for the Troopers.
Anakan, not the proper form to dig that ball up. Just the proper wrist action for Enciso. Parang he just wanted to put that ball over para makapag-set up sila ng block nila.
Nakapanggulang din doon ito si Disuyo. Just bouncing it off his hand and scoring on the other side.
Ganda rin tingnan ng mga delicate touches from our setters.
Kyrie Irving.
Yep, he is in the back row, so that will be an illegal attack called on Nico Ramirez. Vanguard still in this ball game, down by 4 with Disuyo on the service line.
We'll stop the bleeding. Rojas. Oh, there's a net touch apparently against Vanguard. So yan na po. 16-11, a 5-point lead for the Philippine Army Troopers. As we head to our second technical timeout, Rojas still aggressive. And that was a net touch, a violation called against the Vanguard. The Philippine Army Troopers hoping to seal the deal here in the fourth set. They're taking care of a 5-point lead, 16-11. This was at 9 points earlier. But the Vanguard battling back. That is off the block. Another point for Vanguard, so they're not done just yet.
Abroad, not giving up. He will try to score more on the service line in this rotation for Vanguard Volleyball.
Good serve from Abrot. Oh, that's a double contact. Si Torres kasi yung pumulot nung second ball.
Nobody should get that second ball unless humingi ng tulong yung setter.
Tatlo na lang ang hinahabol dito ng Vanguard. And you can feel that momentum is starting to swing in their favor. Another point off the block again. Alam mo si Obay, talon lang ng talon talaga eh, no? May ma-attract siya ng depensa kahit papaano eh.
He's been selling it so well. Doesn't matter if nakakuha siya ng approach, but he's 100% in it.
Now timeout coming from the Army as their lead has dwindled to just 2.
Service nila, receive tayo maayos. Diskartehan mo, Nico. Explosive na pasok para sa pera. Ha? Go tayo.
Isa receive. Patay ba rin? Arme! Upas! Patay momentum mo.
Timeout more to stop the momentum of Vanguard coming from the Troopers. Pardon the pun, to settle the troops down. Make sure that they forget about losing that lead. Kasi paminsan pag iniisip mo, lamang na tayo ng 8 kanina eh. It adds undue pressure on your side as well.
They need to get Vince Abrot out of that service line. This has been one of the biggest weapons for Vanguard Volleyball.
Another chance here, but that is wide. It is called wide. Let's see if they will challenge. Yes, they will. Ball in, ball out challenge coming up.
This is the last challenge opportunity for Vanguard Volleyball in this set.
That was very, very close. I think we will have a decision coming right up. 16-14 is the count. Makakadikit pa ba? Makakadikit pa ba ang Vanguard? Or will the Army get up? Oh, that's so close, but it's out.
That is outside. Shadow ng bola yung lumapat dun sa linya.
Yeah. Pero kita mo, no, there's really a gap in between the ball and the sideline. But that was by the slimmest of margins. Parang tatlong buhok yung diferensya ng in or out.
Now they're out of challenges.
And more importantly for Army, they stopped the bleeding, establishing a 3-point lead once again. Pero ito na. Itong si Palisok as he is heating up once again.
High clearance. Straight down for Razel Palisok. Double substitution again for Philippine Army. De Pamailo setting Abdul Majid. Also in. Troopers just 8 points away from getting their second win.
Usually we see those twin substitutions little later in the sets. It's 17-15 in Army's favor. And that is off the block for Abdul Majid. Itong si Abdul Majid, microwave. Yung bilis uminit, kakapasok lang.
And there would be some players who have a difficult time playing off the bench. Mas maganda kung nasa starting unit sila. But for Abdul Majid, no problem. You can call on him anytime. He can start out. He can come off the bench.
Now Torres serving. Not a good first ball there. And tumama na sa antena. Alanganin na kasi yung buong atake na yon. As Kamag-Anakan is still down. He may have rolled his ankle colliding dun sa ating poste. But he'll be okay. Again, when you have limited options after a bad first ball, it's just difficult to bounce back.
He's good. It was already a tight set from Desuyo and naka-approach na itong si Kamag-Anakan. Yun nga lang medyo bumuka palalo yung set.
Another bad first ball here. Perfect opportunity for the Troopers. Oh, they go to the middle.
That's the zero tempo that we want every time we see a quick attack from both of these teams. Again, Liberato also not a lot of attempts. But when he gets an opportunity, he scores right away.
Now a more comfortable 5-point lead for the Army, 20-15. Much better first ball. Pero hindi ganun kalakas yung palo. De Pamailo, binigay na lang kay Abdul Majid. Somehow he scores.
Nobody got that first ball. It was again a free ball papunta sa Vanguard.
Wala na sa angulo, wala na sa forma eh.
Still got that point for the Troopers. Luck on their side clearly.
Kamag-Anakan. Oh, there is a net touch against Abdul Majid. But still, they were able to rebuild the advantage. Yun yung importante dito for the Troopers as they're up by 5, 21-16 still.
Fast hit and strong wrist action from Kamag-Anakan.
What a push!
Again, nobody going up against Liberato on the quick attack. That's the second time na wala siyang blockers. Now, Diwa will come back in. That's the responsibility of the middle blocker. Kumbaga, sasabihin ng coaching staff, tao-tao muna tayo. You can give a half jump to the middle block. Then, tsaka ka ngayon kumalas para humabol sa left and right wing.
But back-to-back hits from Liberato, allowing them to extend their advantage. Kamag-Anakan pushes it to the other side and scores.
Being creative on the drop ball, disguising that well. So quick 2 points for Kamag-anakan. One of that powerful hit down the line. This time, a simple drop ball.
Well, they need consecutive points though, as Kamag-anakan is serving here. His team down by 5.
Another point for Abdul Majid.
Yep.
This time on the combination. Soft spins, power tips.
Abdul Majid comes in, raises hell, and then heads out. What a guy. 23-17, a 6-point lead for the Troopers. As Ramirez and Cesar back in this matchup. Yun naman, ang ganti, middle. As Diwa gives itong Troopers a dose of their own medicine.
They still have a chance to tie things up with the Ruvens Abrot in the front line.
Pero dito, 0 mistakes.
For Army, just 2 points to get this game.
Has to be perfect for Vanguard. Another good hit from Liberato. All of a sudden coming alive here in the 4th set.
Make that 3 consecutive hits from Liberato. Now Barika comes in, will try to give that finishing kick for the Troopers to seal the deal.
Barika had a good serve at the end of the 1st set. Had an error at the end of the 2nd set, near the end of the 2nd set. Now let's see what he comes up with. The specialist in the ball game for the Troopers. Good one. And that will be it. The Troopers will secure a victory here in the 4th set. An attacking error coming from the side of the Vanguard will give the win, the bounce back win for the Army.
Vanguard showed up in set number 3, but errors just too much in this ball game.
And it was not a pretty first ball, Neil. Their options were limited. They tried to attack. It would not happen for them. As the Army winning at 25-19, 25-22, 22-25, 25-18, 3 sets to 1 as they bounce back and pick up this important W at the expense of Vanguard.
Test mic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay na. Test mic.
Mic test. Hello. Test. Patrick, alam mo naman yung 50 pesos per service error? You're still watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference 2023, and that ends our first match of today's doubleheader with the Philippine Army winning in just 4 sets against the Vanguard volley hitters. Now, joining me is the best player of the game. We have Patrick Rojas. Hello, Patrick. Congratulations. Patrick, alam naman natin na majority of the game starting out strong kayo, pero in the 3rd set, parang may nag-iba. Ano ba yung nag-iba for you and your team in the 3rd set?
Yung laro po lang talagang ininsayo namin, pinag-aralan din namin yung galaw ng kalaban. Tapos pati yung iniikot nung ng galaw ng tao nila. Tsaka yung sa nilesnin namin yung service error namin no mga ibang set na laro.
Yes, talking about service error, actually, kunento sa akin ni Head Coach Melvin na meron 50 pesos per service error kayo. So, with that, meron na ba kayong plano sa 50 pesos nyo yung inipon nyo?
Wala pa naman.
Wala pa.
Iniipon pa rin hanggang ngayon.
Okay, sige. Alright, Patrick, congratulations. May gusto ka bang batiin?
Ay, meron po. Binabati ko nga po pala ang CGPA General Browner, tsaka Commander Income General Lalakin, Director SSC Colonel Gabon, Caronelo Family, Troops Hoops, Palyorina Family, SSC Family. Yun lang po.
Alright, thank you so much, Patrick, and congratulations once again.
Thank you po.
Back to you, Carla and Neil.
Thank you so much for that interview. Congratulations to Rojas, our best player of the game. Again, a 4-set win for the Philippine Army Troopers as they just dominated in the 4th set, extending an advantage. And even though Vanguard fought back, hindi na sila nakabalik completely into the matchup.
And now we know that they have a second explosive option, not just Benjailo Labide. If he's having an off day, they can count on PJ Ross. Again, 16 points built off 15 attacks, 1 ace, and 4 excellent receptions. That's win number 2 for Vanguard Volleyball.
So the story was the same, for all sets. Kung sino yung nakalamang ng at least 4 points would end up to win the set. It was a strong challenge coming from Vanguard, but in the end, a couple of lucky breaks, including that one for Abdul Majid, really helping the cause of the Philippine Army Troopers.
Feel ko nga, napadami pa, not just a couple, a lot of points scored off that substitution dun sa Philippine Army. They had more attacks, 15 to 14, and compared to set number 3 wherein they didn't register any block point or service point, ngayon meron naman silang 2-1 and they capitalized really on the 7 unforced errors of Vanguard.
Tapos dadalawa lang yung error ng Philippine Army, and that was the reason why they were able to pick up the victory off the bounce back. So now on the winning track once again, the Philippine Army, they want to challenge for one of those top 4 spots. Yan po ang magiging katapusan ng ating unang laro. We still have another matchup waiting for you. The City of Santa Rosa Lions against the Cotabato Spikers. When we come back, para po kay Neil Flores at Ms. Ayana Perlas, ako po si Carlo Pamintuan. Stick with us here on Spikers Turf. This is your 2023 Open Conference.